RichTheMan champion wishlist. Yes, something that I've wanted to do for a little while. I think the last time I did a video like this was in 2019, but it's already been such a crazy time. I think I called it like Future Champions. It was back in September 2019, so we're nearly like a year since I last did a video like that. And there's been a few changes. There's been a couple of additions, some from like the last couple of years. I've put together in my top 10 champions I'd like to see. Also, I want to give a shout out to the following people: other MCOC Gabe, MCOC Kalantak, and Jim Cassidy, as well as many others from the Twitter community, especially that put together things like champion wish lists, and as well look at the deep dives of abilities of champions in creation, also design perspectives. This is something I do get invited a lot of times by the other MCOC Gabe to do, like do a champion wish list and do some stuff in conjunction with it. But I'm always really busy at the most weirdest times. Funnily enough, I'm actually recording this yesterday. So this is going out on Friday. I'm actually recording this on Thursday night, because then as soon as I finish it, I've got to get onto a live stream and then go to bed straight after. So life, eh? Over the last 5 years, loads of champions have gone in. Lots of ones that I've wanted, which has been absolutely amazing. Even like the likes of Professor X is going to be with us next month. Even though it's the House of X variant, I'm actually up for it. And once I spent a bit of time learning about the comic book history and the type of character that we'd likely see with it actually being Phantom X, it's going to be a really cool addition. But there are still a lot of characters that I really would like to see. So let's get into it, and as well the deep fascination I have with each individual character and the needs, wants and desires for them to be put in. First one is one that appears a lot in my videos, and that is Monica Rambeau, Spectrum, Captain Marvel, depends what she wants to be referred to nowadays. The character has had a lot of associations, whether or not it's, well, I don't know, every time I hear about a new type of Avengers, there's West Coast Avengers, the standard Avengers, there's Secret Avengers, and as well there's, I don't know, the Avengers formerly known as Avengers. It seems to be that she has association, which is also good and bad based on, like, you know, okay, this character could be linking with this one, synergization, those kind of things as well. Also at the moment, MCOC seems to be going through a bit of a time where they're adding in lots of champions that throw energy based attacks, and this champion, this character, could be one of that. She can fly, which again is a normal thing, immortality, invisibility, yes, like there's loads of things. Hypercosmic awareness. So it could mean that she's effective counters for a lot of things. And yeah, just I think this could be a really cool character to be added into the game. Also, it's quite cool to learn she got her powers after being blasted by extra dimensional energy, and for a time referred to herself as Captain Marvel before changing it to Photon. About many other different aliases, like the Lady of Light, Avengers Mom, and Auntie Monica. Oh yeah, DayStar. So lots of weird names. Next up and on my list has got to be Odin. Yes, I love Odin. Allfather has got to be one of the greatest characters out there, and especially from a power perspective. Whether or not there's regeneration in this character, energy projection, there's just great amount of damage. I would say that this would be, if they ever put in the likes of Apocalypse, they have Doctor Doom in game, we have Charles Xavier next month, and if we have any others, it will be on that level, especially with Magneto as well, as being incredibly powerful. If it is an underwhelming addition, then that would disappoint me. But Allfather should be incredibly powerful. He should have all the elements of counter for a lot of characters in the game, and that is something I'd like to see. I don't know if I can oversee him getting power control, but all the other things in game, he should have, and he should be the most powerful in the game. The next character I'd love to see in game would be Wiccan. Wiccan's an incredibly powerful mystic based character, and for a time it was believed, and I think still is to a degree, that Scarlet Witch is the mother, and sort of Vision is as well, but this is all due to like the manifestation of Scarlet Witch's mind. There's a lot to this. I'm not going to bore you with the little bits of, well, comic book history, kind of mythology, whatever it is. This week they're deciding this is going to be the backstory. And the potential with Wiccan to expand things like the new Avengers, having Hulkling and many others, can really lead to an expansion of the new age of a lot of the Marvel characters and a lot of the ones that say more modern comic book fans will associate with. Like his mother Scarlet Witch, he can tap into a lot of powers that are really associated from things like reality bending, healing, manipulation of energy and other things like that, which could mean for a very, very cool addition to this game. Next up is Jean Grey. Now, I know for a lot of players, seen things like Phoenix in game, and for those OGs of Marvel Contest of Champions to remember, Dark Phoenix. Phoenix in game does represent, yes, a Jean Grey of sorts, but it's not something that really, I don't know, inspires things of the mental telekinesis stuff, which, let's face it, if you're going up against the likes of Emma Frost or inverted controls against the Grandmaster, you kind of think, right, well, a Jean Grey or Phoenix would be able to kind of bypass that. But that's a lot about that cosmic power tapping in that Phoenix has, and seeing a Jean Grey which is kind of pre that would be good. There could be a point of going like, okay, she becomes a little unstable, similar to Phoenix, but have it more of an emphasis of telekinesis-based powers. Maybe throwing inverted controls at the enemy AI a little bit more, the same way that Emma Frost does, and I believe Mr. Sinister and the Grandmaster, and if there are any other future ones that have inverted controls, then it is what it is. I'm not sure if that's already easy to play out against the AI, or maybe I'm thinking of a boss interaction from days of yore. Another one on the list, which I'm not going to go too much details about because it's not new to my list. It's an old school champion to my list. It's not old school, but it's old enough, and that is, well, Charles Xavier's son, which isn't his son, but is. It's David Haller, or Legion. Now, you might know of the TV series Legion, but this character is just like, oh, beyond a mega level, where you've got the likes of Magneto. This is kind of like Sylar from Heroes. If you don't know that TV series, you won't get the reference, but imagine a potential sucking in of different powers and basically exerting out all manner of things, bending reality, bending time, projecting energy, as you can see here, and doing so much, and also having that cool hairstyle. Imagine that in Marvel Contest of Champions, which looks like some kind of paintbrush stuck on the top of his head, and he's able to do the most extensive damage that you'll ever find in game. Imagine as well similar to like Rogue, absorbing powers, but maybe on like a huge, a mega level. This character would be an absolutely amazing one to put in game, and with House of X starting that kind of movement to put in Charles Xavier, you can see maybe the future things tying together to go, right, well, we could do Jean Grey, we could do David Haller, we could see Legion in game at a later date. I mean, I've got more hope this year for a future where this could be in game than I've ever had, so yeah, I still would love to see this in game. Next up is Misty Knight. Misty Knight was a character that I've put on a list a little while ago, and I do think it would be great to see her in game. Now, her association with a lot of characters from Heroes for Hire, with the likes of Luke Cage and the Defenders as well. If you've seen the Defenders on Netflix, then you must have enjoyed it as much as I did. A good storyline with it. I know that it's very questionable with a lot of Netflix series. Some, you know, big thumbs up, some big thumbs down, really disappointing. But Misty Knight was good to see that on-screen presence, and especially seeing the early rumblings of that electronic or like cyborg arm that she had. A bit more stronger when it comes to like the comic book side of things. It was a bit more kind of like, well, it was a lot better rather than what we saw on screen, or lack of seeing on screen, if you get my meaning by that. Association with things like X-Men, as well as various other factions. Not to mention she had a time of infiltrating Hydra, and a bit of association with Captain America, hence why obviously there's a tease with the shield there. So this would be a great character to synergize with loads of others. And also, if they wanted to bring in Colleen Wing, that could be a good option to bring that in and really pad up that Iron Fist synergies that are just really lacking at the moment, especially with that character kind of like being, well, a bit naff. And you're thinking, this is the master of Kunlun, the bearer of the Iron Fist, and he's kind of naff, really. So it'd be good to have like a really decent synergy, like a Defenders synergy that's really strong. We got Heroes for Hire, but I'm talking about something new, something dynamic, and something that could bring them together and be really strong. You know, you've got a science with Luke Cage. This would be either a tech or a skill-based character if put in game. A buffed version of Iron Fist even would be great for next year. So yeah, put them together, create a massive and amazing synergy, and yeah, big thumbs up if that was in. Next up for me has got to be an expansion of the Wolverine synergies, tie-ins and stuff like that, and it's got to be Daken. I love this character. It's so dark. He's so very much one mind. He's exactly like Wolverine, but a younger version, lots of tattoos, more strange types of claws that pop out from him. And as well, just really cool because like he's been beaten to a bloody pulp, and unfortunately he has been killed off in the past, but it's been a character that I would love to see in game. Also love the fact as of here he is mentioned in the House of X story arc, that he appears to be alive after being killed off, and as well he's had associations with X-23, the Wolverines team, so there could be synergization with one of the characters we're going to talk about next, and X-23 as well, so this could be really exciting for a future pair up as well. Yes, this leads us into Mystique very nicely. Now I know that it's incredibly difficult for Kabam to work in an idea for this really to work. That's the problem. Kabam have tried some elements of creating this and it hasn't worked out, or they've given it a go, they've considered it, but it's never really come to anything. And it is difficult to think of a shape-shifting character to, and the same thing I believe that was with Skrulls. So yeah, that kind of idea of shape-shifting. And I still think that you could do something quite clever if the character has some things like weaponry, as you can see in this image here, that yes, it would make it a case that she would fire with guns. That's absolutely fine. And then animations, maybe to kind of like then replicate what you see. Maybe more so with the SP3, and maybe that's the push to go like she changes quickly into the opposing character. Or maybe there's something with special attacks or abilities that where she does basic attack, she's able to steal something of a similarity, like the way that Wolverine does bleed. Then okay, well Mystique can do a bleed on the enemy based on like I don't know, ability grab or something like that, ability steal, or try and find something of a same thing, similar to Morningstar when she replicates buffs on enemies. Maybe she can do something like this. I'm not quite sure, but it would be amazing still to give some hope that we might see Mystique in game at a future point. Next up, and I know you know, I've had this theory for a long time about this character. Actually, it's been well over a year, and as well, this has been teased by Kabam in the past. Apocalypse, yeah, this is going to be the be-all and end-all of champions. Now, I am hoping I am not going to be disappointed by this character if it is put into Marvel Contest of Champions. I want all of it. I want it godly. I want it to be the best of the best. I want it better than Aegon, because it should be that character, that champion, the best of the best, everything. It's going to have regeneration. It's going to have all of it and more. Sinister on speed, Doctor Doom, but Omega. This is what I want to see. All these amazing powers need to be in this character and more in game when this eventually comes in, because I love Apocalypse, I love this character, but it is godly. Although I'll probably regret that if we get a Cavalier difficulty and that's the end boss, because it's gonna hurt a lot. Now on to the final character. This has got to be one of the favourite ones that I want to see, even though Apocalypse would be the #1, and that has got to be the Unworthy Thor. Now this whole story arc is really interesting. It's kind of similar to how the character was for Avengers Endgame, but didn't really demonstrate any greater, well, strength or power. And the reason for that is that if you watch the film back, you'll notice that for a good chunk of the time he's getting his ass handed to him by Thanos. But the fact is, he showed great strength in Infinity War and, well, could have gone for the head and ended it all, but didn't. Either way, yes, he has to live with his regret, and he theoretically becomes or feels unworthy for his presence. Same thing with this, but he's more badass in this because he actually holds a proper battle axe. Stormbreaker in the films is not Stormbreaker. That's not the proper Stormbreaker. The proper Stormbreaker, as by the comic book fashion, is the more smaller kind of golden hammer, which Beta Ray Bill holds on to. I love this Unworthy Thor story arc, and as well the imagery, artistry, and what surrounds Thor. He's got a shorter haircut, which I know we've seen in the film, and as well he is wielding Yamborn, or Hamborn, or how it's pronounced, which is sort of like Stormbreaker. And as well he is wielding the Destroyer arm. Later on you'll find out in the Herald of Galactus version of Thor that he gets it reanimated back onto him, and he's got his proper arms back again. But he gets it cut off, and the Destroyer from the first Thor film, if you're familiar with that, it gets kind of like put onto him, so it has this really strong like super arm, and as well the power of Thor, as well as this amazing battle axe, and just shows some kind of like just I think, brute strength, because he goes off, he becomes a wanderer. Again, similar to the films. But with this story arc, I resonate more with it. That and the Galactus version of Thor. But this one more so, because I think it's just a bit more badass, and he looks like he is being and is the god of thunder. There we go, that's been my top 10 champion wish list for characters I'd love to see put in game and why. So a little bit of a backstory of information that I haven't done before, but a lot of them I have put in before in previous years. And yeah, some have been added in game over the last few years, so that's been great, but there's still some that I'd love to see in game. And we'll see what the months hold towards the end of the year, and as well 2021. And by the power of Thor, check out some recent content up there. Check out some other links down there. Going to post a video today on Rich's Realm. And as well, put in the comments section which characters you would love to see in game. We may have similar ones. It'd be great to find out. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye for now.